two. Hey, yo! What's up, and welcome back, Wrestling Renegades. Buckle up and get ready to dive into the new electrified version of VK Punk Wrestling, the soon to be recognized, crowned, undisputed king of pro wrestling madness. After a lengthy amount of time away from the channel due to revamping and learning, with some real life stuff thrown in here and there, I have been waiting for this comeback. Of course, I am your ringmaster, Vin C. Punk, ready to bring the mayhem and lead you through a no-holds-barred roller coaster of bone-rattling slams, razor-sharp promos, and the kind of raw, unfiltered passion that makes wrestling the wildest spectacle in the galaxy. Tonight, we're cannonballing into Monday Night Raw with our signature Yay Boo breakdown, and let me tell you, this one's got more juice than a steel chair to the dome piece, man. And this ain't just a channel, it's the pulse-pounding, high-voltage core of the VK Punk Wrestling Legion, and you're strapped in for the ride. If your heart's racing, like you just dodged a Brock Lesnar F5, crush that thumbs up button, smash the subscribe button, and pound that bell icon to stay locked into every jaw-dropping moment. Want to crank the chaos up to 11? Follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and X for exclusive clips, blistering hot takes, and backstage shenanigans that'll keep you buzzing all week. You can also find me personally, Vin C. Punk, on all of those platforms for daily other stuff, sometimes not to do with wrestling. Anyway, VK Punk Wrestling, man, we the ones for wrestling content. Before we go on to this Monday Night Raw riot, let's give a colossal shout out to our champs at Capco Championship Belts, forging title hardware so legendary it would make The Rock shed a single jealous tear. These aren't just belts, they're gleaming works of art, from spot-on WWE replicas to custom masterpieces that scream your legacy louder than a WrestleMania main event. Their belt guru Abdul is the macho man of craftsmanship, stitching every detail with swagger that could outshine a spotlight. They crafted our VK Punk Wrestling Championship, and it's so stunning it can make Roman Reigns rethink his tribal chief status. Capco's also got the gear to make you feel like a headliner, tees, hoodies, masks, and hats, dipping with championship vibes. Slide over to www.capcointernational.com and check out their epic lineup. Drop a Vin's Got Your Back or VK Punk sent you, and you can find the rest of their contact information in the credits to this very video. So go check out Capco's gear. It hits harder than a CM Punk GTS. Jump in the ring and claim your glory now. Woo! Speaking on the VK Punk Wrestling Championship, I may be putting it on the line tomorrow night live with two others. Well, maybe with just one other. We are looking for other wrestling creatives to challenge for it as well. If this is you and you are interested, please contact us on TikTok, and you could be a part of the VK Punk Wrestling channel, and you can potentially become the VK Punk Wrestling Champion. Tonight's Raw is the go-home show before Evolution and Saturday night's main event, which will both be part of the Predictions War Game card to win the VK Punk Wrestling Championship. Okay, and anyway, Raw is serving up a chaotic mix of promos, brawls, and squash matches in front of a red-hot crowd, so let's break it down with a play-by-play that's sharper than a Ric Flair chop. So the first thing we get is Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, and the show kicks off with all of them strutting to the ring like they own the place. Seth reaches for the mic, but Breaker snatches it, kind of shocking the architect a little bit. Breaker's got a vision, and it's a WWE without Sami Zayn. He's not shy about it, ranting about Zayn's dead fish athleticism to a chorus of boos. He vows to stamp Zayn's expiration date tonight. Reed grabs the mic next, promising to tsunami some respect into Jey Uso, referencing his past beatdown of Rollins in a way. Seth is visibly annoyed, hands the reins to Heyman, who declares their empire will strike first, taking out all enemies, and Heyman takes a shot at Roman Reigns, calling the OTC MIA, and promises Jey Uso's demise. He caps it off with a half-Spanish promo, hyping Rollins versus Penta tonight. So this kind of gets a boo and a yay. We'll go boo. Right, let's see. This segment was a mixed bag that teetered between frustrating, and intriguing. On the boo side of it, it felt like a bloated time waster Breaker and Reed's promos were solid but redundant as Heyman just rehashed their points with extra flair at the end. With a stacked heavyweight lineup like this group has, we could have gotten a spicier exchange or even some kind of brawl to kick things off. It's like ordering a steak and getting a burger. Tasty, but not what you came for. And of course, the yay, right, comes from the character work. Breaker's intensity was palpable, and his anti-Zayn rant set a clear heel tone. Reed's tsunami threat added menace, and Heyman's multilingual mic work was pure Paul E. magic. The tease of internal friction, a little bit, I don't know. Breaker stealing Seth's mic and Seth's annoying glance kind of planted the seeds for future drama, but I still think we're too early to dig that deep into it. But if it's built well enough, if it's built enough heat to make you curious about whether they'll deliver on their promises as far as all the guys go. But boo for the clunky execution, yay for the storytelling potential. I'm invested, but they gotta tighten those screws, right? So next we get Roxanne Perez versus Kairi Sane. Roxanne Perez starts off strong, controlling Kairi Sane early until Sane bounces Perez's head off the turnbuckle. Perez fires back, slamming Sane's head into the mat. An awkward counter sequence leads to Perez's odd roll up for a near fall. Sane misses her cutlass back fist, and they trade pin attempts. Perez does eat a cutlass, but rolls out, dodging Sane's diving elbow. Raquel Rodriguez distracts Sane, letting Perez push her off the top and stomp her arm using the ropes. Perez tries the sacrifice arm breaker, but Sane counters with an Alabama slam attempt. Perez reverses it into an arm DDT, but Zayn lands the Alabama slam. And Rodriguez pulls Perez out before the insane elbow connects. Zayn dives onto Rodriguez outside, then rolls up Perez for the win. Post-match, Rodriguez and Perez attack Zayn, but Asuka comes back to make the save and kind of reunites the Kabuki Warriors. So we're going to give this a yay all the way around. This match was a roller coaster that started a bit shaky, but finished strong, earning a big yay for its chaotic charm. Early on, Perez and Zayn were slightly out of sync, missed spots, and clunky counters were made. Feel like they were wrestling in molasses, but once they found their groove, it was magic. Zayn's diving elbow and Alabama slam were crisp. Perez's arm-focused attack showed her technical growth. The busy finish with Rodriguez's interference was perfect, setting up Zayn and Asuka for the Kabuki Warriors at the Evolution Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team title match. This pairing could be the shot in the arm that the women's tag division needs, especially with Liv Morgan being out, especially because she's one of the champions. The post-match beatdown and Asuka save added stakes, making this feel like a pivotal moment. So once again, yay for turning a rough start into a thrilling finish that hyped a bigger story. Zayn and Asuka are coming for those titles, and I am all in. Okay, so next on the card, we had Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. This one, of course, as Sami Zayn heads to the ring, Karrion Kross ambushes him with a metal pipe to the gut. Raw GM Adam Pearce confiscates the pipe, and after that break, Zayn convinces Pearce he's good to go. In the ring, Breaker targets Zayn's injured ribs, beating him as he dominates. Zayn tries a springboard, but Breaker cuts him in half with a spear. Breaker taunts the crowd, rolls Zayn back in, and hits another super spear for the win. So this one definitely gets a yay. This was everything it needed to be with everybody included. It was just amazing. This was brutal, fast-paced squash that delivered exactly what Breaker promised in his earlier promo, earning a resounding yay for that. Cross's pre-match attack set the stage for Zayn's underdog struggle, and Breaker's relentless offense, those spears were like freight trains, made him look like an unstoppable force. The match was short, but effective, showcasing Breaker's dominance while keeping Zayn sympathetic. Now let's talk Karrion Kross. This guy is criminally underused. His NXT run with Scarlett, all mind games and menace was pure gold, but VKM's main roster gimmick tanked him. This pipe attack felt like the NXT Kross we fell in love with, and the crowd's pops prove more that they want more of this. Why WWE isn't giving him a sustained push is beyond me. Give him the momentum and he'll soar. The match itself was a perfect beatdown, setting up Breaker as a monster and Zayn as a resilient babyface. Yay for the squash done right, and a plea for more Karrion Kross chaos. WWE, do it. Book it, you cowards. Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Lyra Valkyria kind of all met in the ring. The women's intercontinental champion, of course, Becky Lynch, opens this segment with a promo griping about defending her title against Bayley and Lyra, who lost to each other last week. She points out other champs got to handpick their Evolution opponents unlike her, but Bayley interrupts. But then Lyra power walks right past her into the ring, claiming she's the rightful champ. Bayley fires back, saying Lyra raised Lynch's hand like a little bitch after losing at WrestleMania. The barbs escalated into a brawl, with Lyra dropping both Bayley and Becky with the Nightwing. So, of course, this gets a yay. This segment was kind of hot and cold as well, but mostly hot. The segment was a spicy shot of adrenaline that turned a routine promo into must-see drama, earning a full-throated yay. Becky's complaint-heavy promo started slow, and it seems like that's all her promos are anymore. That's why I said it wasn't complete hot. It's just Becky doing the same thing that she's always done. But Bayley and Lyra's interruption lit a fire. Bayley's sharp-tongued bitch line was a mic drop moment, and Lyra's fiery response showed she's ready for the big stage. The brawl was short but electric, with Lyra's Nightwing stealing the show and proving she's a threat. The segment added some serious heat to the Evolution triple threat, making it feel like anyone could walk out with the gold. It also deepened the Bayley-Lyra rivalry, hinting at a personal grudge that could carry forward. Yay for a segment that took a predictable setup and turned it into a chaotic, compelling preview of what's to come. Yay for sure. Okay, so next, Jey Uso lands an early strike in his match against Bronson Reed, but Bronson Reed tosses him around like a rag doll, missing a senton, however. Jey fires back with a flurry of strikes and a spinning enziguri, sending Reed outside. Jey's suicide dive sends Reed over the commentary desk, kinda. Jey clears the desk, super kicks Reed into a chair, then super kicks him out of it. As Jey sets up another dive, Reed launches into a chair into Jey's face, getting disqualified. Post-match, Reed hits Jey with 2 tsunamis as GM Pierce and officials check on him. So I'm going to give this one a yay. It's like another squash match, a very short match like Braun Breaker's earlier, but this was a brutal banger that perfectly served its purpose, earning a massive yay. Jey's offense, those strikes and dives, made him look resilient, while Reed's chair shot and tsunami cemented him as a badass destroyer. The DQ finish was smart. It protected Jey's credibility while letting Reed heel heat shine. The post-match tsunamis were a statement. Reed's mission to destroy Jey felt complete, though 2 splashes seemed a little light for a permanent takedown. Why not more, like he delivered to Seth Rollins when Seth Rollins got all the tsunamis? Anyway, this sets up for a comeback arc for Jey, who needs a break from the yeet catchphrase and all his other stupid catchphrases, and a return to the Uso tag team. If you ask me, his roots with Jimmy. The Usos were untouchable as a unit, and Jey's solo run, while hot, feels experimental. Reed, meanwhile, looked like a punishment machine straight out of a wrestling comic book, exactly what his character should be. Yay for a match that told a clear story, built Reed's menace, and left Jey's future wide open. All right, guys, so next we're going to get into El Grande Americano with Dragon Lee as a pretty heated, and also, if you didn't notice, El Grande Americano was a little bigger. Maybe getting into more of that in a minute. Anyway, El Grande Americano struggles with his mask as Dragon Lee out-wrestles him early on. Americano fires up with a hip toss, posing to boos. Lee tries a monkey flip, but Americano lands on his feet, mimicking Ludwig Kaiser's taunt. Suspicious, right? Let's set up a dive, but Lee sets up a dive, but Americano catches him with a flying kick. After the break, they trade mask-pulling attempts. They each try to pull each other's mask off, and Americano hits a rope walk blockbuster for a near fall, and Lee answers with a trio double stomp. Americano avoids a dive and lands a loaded mask headbutt for the win, however. So we're going to go yay on this one, too. And there's a lot of reasoning behind it. This whole thing with El Grande Americano is way weird. And I mean, that's okay. It's okay for it to be weird, but um, it's it's fun too. Okay, so this was a fun, mystery laden sprint that kept you guessing, earning a big yay. Dragon Lee's high flying brilliance was on display, but let's be real. When was the last time he has won a TV singles match? The guy's too talented to be a jobber, but Americano's size and shape felt off. Bigger and bulkier, maybe Julius Creed, but the Ludwig Kaiser taunts and the mannerisms are something. But in the tease from last week adds intrigues. Is it Kaiser? Is it Creed or someone else under the mask? The rope walk blockbuster and loaded. Hold on, because I got more to say about this. So I do think that they honestly are trying to make it look like it's Kaiser, but I feel like that wasn't Kaiser. I feel like maybe that was Julius Creed, like doing Kaiser's mannerisms and stuff. So I think they want you to believe that it's Kaiser, but I think we can find out next time, depending on who he comes out looking like. It looked a little too big, and Kaiser is so cut, and it just didn't look like that. It looked like Julius Creed pretending to be Kaiser in an a grande Americano mask. So that's what I think. That's just my personal. The match itself was a blast, and Lee's speed clash against Americano's power and the Kaiser taunt through a curveball. Yay for a match that delivered action and advanced a who done it angle that's got me hooked. Uh, More like a who can it be angle that's got me hooked. So next, the world heavyweight champion Gunther comes to the ring and cuts a promo claiming that Goldberg is scared of him. Uh, Next, we cut backstage and we see a red Chevelle SS pull up on the Tron, kind of fishing out into the parking lot. Goldberg is here. He power walks to the ring, slaps the mic from Gunther's hand, and decks him when Gunther tries to swing. Goldberg sets up a spear, but Gunther rolls out. So this gets a yay. Now, I haven't been excited about Goldberg in years. When you've seen him come out and he does like his punches and that kick, he hasn't been able to do it. But the last time he came out for Gunther and he did it all, he definitely seems like he has some of um his movement back. Like he's not rusted or tight anymore. It seems like he's been really working to get his flexibility going and make sure that it looks good anyway. So I'm actually excited because this could be something special. Anyway, this segment here was short and sweet and perfectly executed, earning a thunderous yay. Gunther's weekly jabs at an absent Goldberg were getting stale, but this face-to-face flipped the script. Goldberg's no-speech, all-action approach was vintage, and slapping the mic away was a boss move. Gunther dodging the spear was smart. It builds anticipation for a red-hot collision at Saturday night's main event. No one expects Goldberg to win, but the visual of him staring down the ring general was electric. This wasn't just a segment, it was a promise of violence, and the crowd ate it up. Yay for cutting the fluff and delivering some high-stakes stare down that makes Saturday night's main event a must-watch. Right, so next we get Penta versus Seth Rollins with Paul Heyman, our main event. The match starts with a wild brawl outside. Penta sending Rollins into an announce desk. Rollins dodges a chop, making Penta hit the ring post. Rollins dumps Penta into the timekeeper's area, but Penta answers with a barricade dive Hurricane Rana. Easy for me to say. Penta's handstand dropkick attempt fails. Yeah, his little corner thing as Rollins rolls out. After reversals, Penta clothesline Rollins over the ropes, landing a tope con hilo. Post break, Rollins sets up for the pedigree, but Penta escapes with a backstabber. Rollins mocks Penta's taunt, hits a frog splash, but Penta kicks out. Penta's running Rana and Penta driver get a 2.9 count. Very close. I thought it was over there. Rollins' buckle bomb is countered by Penta's Mexican destroyer, but Rollins grabs the ropes on the pin. A low blow headbutt from Rollins that the ref didn't see set up a stomp for the win. Post match, Rollins calls for backup, but LA Knight teleports in out of nowhere, drops Rollins with a BFT, and escapes back through the crowd as Reed and Breaker try to give chase. This was obviously a big yay, guys. Okay, this match was certainly match of the night, a certified banger that sent the crowd home buzzing and earning a massive yay. Penta proved he's main event material, hanging with Rollins move for move with near falls that had me leaping off my couch. The buckle bomb to Mexican Destroyer spot was insane. Rollins was his usual slick self, blending arrogance with athleticism, and the low blow headbutt kept his heel heat strong. Penta's Rana and Tope were high flying perfection, and the outside brawl set a chaotic tone. LA Knight's post match BFT was the perfect cherry on top. Woo! Was the perfect cherry on top of this. Giving the babyface crowd a pleasing moment before they went home without derailing Rollins' momentum. Knight is so over it's criminal. His age might cap his ceiling, but he's a star who deserves a bigger push. This match showcased Penta's potential, Rollins' brilliance, and Knight's charisma, all while hyping Saturday night's main event. So once again, yay for a main event that delivered on every level and left you wanting more. Raw's overall tonight, right? Tonight's Raw felt like a bridge episode connecting Evolution and Saturday night's main event without fully igniting the hype train. The Lynch Bailey Valkyria segment added spice to the women's title picture, and Knight's sneak attack on Rollins was a fun babyface moment to counter the heel dominance. Rollins' crew destroying Zayn and Jay was brutal, but Knight's comeback kept it from feeling like a burial. The show had lulls, cliched promos, and some clunky moments, but it set up key matches: Goldberg, Gunther, Becky, Bailey, Lyra, Knight, Rollins, and the women's tag titles four-way at Evolution still feels murky, but SmackDown should clarify things. So yay again. Despite some filler, this Raw earned a yay for keeping me invested in the weekend's PLEs. The highs, Penta versus Rollins, the women's triple threat setup, Goldberg's return outweigh the lows. Breaker and Reed's dominance, paired with Knight's defiance, created a compelling narrative. The women's tag setup and Americano's mystery added depth. This wasn't a home run, but it did its job. I'm hyped for Saturday night's main event and curious about Evolution. Yay for a solid go-home show that promised a packed weekend. This weekend, once again, we will do a predictions war game for, I guess, what had been vacated. I haven't had a challenger since it's been vacated. So I don't even know if I'm technically the holder of it or not. But looks like everybody's coming back to do it. Right? All right, Wrestling Renegades. So let's step outside the squared circle for a real talk. Just a moment. Because life can hit harder than a Randy Orton RKO out of nowhere. Work, stress piling up, family drama dropping you like a DDT, or those inner battles, cutting promos louder than Paul Heyman, but you're tougher than a TLC match and fiercer than Sasha Banks in her prime. Mental health struggles is just another heel to pin down. You don't need a title belt to fight back. Just take it one step, one deep breath, one super kick at a time. Tagging a friend and spill your heart to someone you trust, or roar like you're cutting a promo in front of a sold-out arena. The VK Punk Wrestling crew is in your corner, cheerleading louder than a stone cold pop. Your story's the main event. Keep swinging, keep shining, and never let the heels win. All right, Wrestling Renegades, you've just survived a wild night with VK Punk Wrestling. We're stoked to have you here at ringside for this high-octane chaos. Before we drop the mic and light up the arena, let's keep the party rolling. Slam your boldest SmackDown predictions, wildest Evolution theories, or pure unfiltered wrestling love in the comments below. Make this place rumble louder than a Goldberg spear crash. Crush that subscribe button. Rally your squad to join the VK Punk Rebellion by sharing and promoting us. And you can hunt us down on X, TikTok, and Facebook for more Raw Unscripted madness. I, of course, am Vince C. Punk, and this is VK Punk Wrestling, and we run the bingo, and we the ones for wrestling content. Chin up, tits out, and deuces, ooses.